Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back, another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I here recording Monday, July 28th in the middle of the summer, talking about the Celtics. How you doing, Sam?
Awful. We've reached NBA hell. It's terrible. Jack and I had to sit here and brainstorm before we started the show, which, poor us, woe is us. We have to think about what we're actually going to talk about instead of news updates telling us exactly what to put on the show sheet. But we have prevailed. Shout out to Tice in the First the Floor Discord, who kind of planted the seed for, I would say, a new series where we are going to talk about individual Celtics players, talk about what their season could look like, floor, ceiling, etc. Today's will be Neemias Queta. We'll start with that. Then we will give minor Celtic updates, the minor tidbits of news we have to share with everybody. And then we will go through your emails. We will go around the NBA and we will do the rat list and get out of here. It's going to be a fun show. It'll be a fun... We'll have as much fun as possible during this dead period. So stick around through all of it. Subscribe to the channel. We are here every day, no matter what, even this time of year. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. So hit the bell just in case any news breaks. Watch out, Ben Simmons. We're monitoring. But yeah, we're here every single day.
Indeed, we'll make it work. Starting with the first player we're going to be talking about, Neemias Queta. I feel like he's maybe the most interesting player on the roster. You could argue Jaylen Brown or Peyton Pritchard, but in terms of purely having their role upgraded from what it was last year to what it is this year, Neemias Queta went from the fourth string center who was in and out of the rotation and ended the season not getting any minutes to the starting center of the Boston Celtics. That's about as big of a jump as you can possibly get, right? I have been vocal on how much I don't think Neemias Queta is very good. I also have been, fair, and at least I think recognizing that the upside of Neemias Queta is awesome. Like, if Neemias Queta is at his best, he is a great basketball player. The problem is he's inconsistent in being at his best. So we're going to talk about the ceiling, the floor, what we think is going to happen, which side we're leaning towards. Maybe we can do we each give a ceiling and a floor, then we give our percentage of likelihood that we think they'll reach each of them. I don't know. We're going to talk about how we think Neemias Queta is going to play next season, ways he can improve, ways he can be better, etc., and go from there. But you can go ahead, Sam.
Not an original thought, but just reminded me, just your description of Neemi and his path to where we're at. Neemi is the meme of you accidentally became important at your job, and now you all of a sudden have a ton of responsibility. So I think that's where we can start, because I think that's his floor, is the guy who accidentally becomes important at his job and doesn't really know how to handle it. There's certainly bounds for Neemi to step into the starting role, not really be comfortable, still be out of discipline, foul a lot, be a poor finisher at the rim. Like, for somebody who's 7 feet tall, he does not have a good touch at the basket. It was one of the things we talked about when they drafted Amari Williams, and like some of the comps were Neemi because he doesn't finish very well at the rim. Neemi last season shot 66%, or 65% rather, which isn't bad. But considering he really only takes layups and dunks, you'd expect it to be a little bit better for somebody of his size. As the season went on and he actually started to start games, that number gets worse. When his usage gets higher, he was only at 58% in his 6 starts, where he played a total of 148 minutes. So it's roughly 25 minutes a game.
I hope I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to warn you now, number's going to go down next year, people. I would hedge my bets, and that might not be a bad thing. Like, you're obviously gonna have growing pains, but I would bet that he's not going to shoot 65% next season when he's playing 25 to 30 minutes a night in a starting role.
Probably not, especially if they're like, "Hey, Neemi, post up, do something for us," because when he's asked to do anything out of the post, it doesn't go well. To his credit, he plays with a high motor and sticks to the glass, gets his own misses when he misses, and that's how a lot of his rebounding numbers get inflated. Like, let's see. When he was starting games last season, he had 15 offensive rebounds in 6 starts, so that's roughly 2.5 a game compared to...
Not bad.
Definitely not 2 a game when he was a reserve, though. The numbers more like 1.2, just doing quick math by the totals that Basketball Reference puts out to me. So he's missing more shots. He doesn't get like the Charles Bassey offensive rebounds like we saw at Summer League when we were like, whoa, Charles Bassey only missed one shot and still had 9 offensive rebounds. Like, no, he's getting Andre Drummond offensive rebounds. And there will be people that watch Nemi or don't watch Nemi and look at the stats and they're like, this guy, double machine. Let's see, he's fortunate enough to average a double. They're like, this guy's a beast. Can't believe they didn't play him sooner. And he could be good. But there are so many weak points in his game that he's going to have to take serious strides forward if he's going to want to be a starter in the NBA. And I'm sure you have far more to say than I do about it because you are very critical of him. I'm not sure he's ready. We're going to have to find out if he's ready. But there have been moments where he's been very effective. It's just a question if he can do that consistently. And the more minutes he gets, the more chances he has to get exposed.
Yeah. My biggest issues with Nemi aren't the blocks, aren't the finishing, aren't the offensive rebound inflation, isn't the bad efficiency, whatever. Those are all concerns, right? Though I think those are all things that definitely need to be addressed. My biggest problems with Nemi is when he doesn't get the block because he was not out of position. It's because he was not helping over soon enough or helped over too late and fouled and gave up an and one, or his head wasn't in the play and he wasn't paying attention on the perimeter. And so he gave up a switch he probably shouldn't have. And Jaylen Brown ended up on the big when it could have easily been a switch with Nemi. Nemi stayed on the big, or, he's supposed to be in the free safety helper role, but he's looking at his guy in the corner because he starts to run off a screen and then he doesn't see the guy driving to the rim. And then offensively he didn't move from dunker spot to dunker spot soon enough to prepare for the Jaylen Brown drive. He didn't do what Luke Cornett does so well, where he's just standing in the dunker spot, doesn't go too early, doesn't go too late, runs at the exact right time to where his guy gets out of position, right? It's a lot of positioning with Neemias Queta. That is the problem. And it leads to the fouls that have been an issue for him because he is going too early, going too late, and getting in foul trouble. It leads to the lack of touch around the rim because what could be an easy dunk turns into a contested layup because he is not going at the right time. He's not moving from dunker spot to dunker spot at the right time. He's, setting illegal screens. He's not setting his feet correctly. He's not moving to the rim at the right time. His timing is just off in those spots. And then you get into the I forgot what I was just gonna say. I was gonna make another point. But the as soon as he gets an offensive rebounding, and he did get better at this by the end of last season, the lack of awareness for the three-point line, the lack of awareness for kickouts, the lack of awareness to swing the ball. It is, Peyton Pritchard could be wide open in the corner, Nemi could be triple team, and he's still going to put the ball up for a shot, and it might not go in, but it might go in. And those are all the reasons that I have been skeptical of Nemi because, in my opinion, first-year Celtics Nemi did a lot of that, and I was going into year 2 Nemi like, all right, let's see. And it just didn't get that much better. Like you've seen a little bit of improvements with the passing, you've seen a little bit of improvements with the rebounding and the spacing and whatever, but not enough to where I was like, okay, yes, he's getting it. Like the Celtics have found a way to get it through to him where he's in the right spots. Like that wasn't there. And hell, maybe it's going to be a lot better this year when he has a chance to work through the mistakes. That's absolutely possible, and I'll give him that grace of maybe he just wasn't given enough leeway to work through them and learn. And maybe people learn like at the most granular level, people learn in different ways. Like if Nemi learns better from actually doing it rather than just listening to people tell him what to do, hell yeah, right? Go do it, man. Like that works. But we haven't seen enough from him on the court, and maybe we don't know what we're seeing in practice. Maybe he's doing a lot better in practice, and then it falls apart on the court because he's not giving enough, chances to do it there. But we'll have to see. And if we want to do floor and ceiling, I don't know, which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do floor or ceiling for Nemi?
Let's do the floor.
All right. Well, the floor for Nemi, in my opinion, is he loses the starting job to Luka Garza or Amari Williams or another center they bring in because he's averaging 3 fouls a game. He's not in position. He's probably averaging around 8 points, 6 rebounds, which is fine. It's not great for a starting center, but it's okay. But he's also shooting 3 of 5 every other night or 4 of 8 and having 2 offensive rebounds off his own misses and an offensive foul game. Like all of those same things come back to haunt him. He loses the starting job to Ben Simmons if they sign him, or Luka Garza if he's in town, or whatever it is, and he completely loses Joe's trust. And then, honestly, that would probably be the end of him in Boston. That's the floor. That's the absolute floor.
Yeah, my floor is definitely the guy who just is accidentally important at work. Like, there's no real player comparison for that other than just he doesn't get any better, doesn't improve, looks lost, looks out of place, isn't disciplined, is in foul trouble, is continuously missing shots at the rim. If he's missing shots at the rim, he becomes somebody who the players don't really trust hitting if they get doubled on a drive and they don't really trust the dump off, or maybe they don't trust him late in shot clock situations. It gets worse, right? Like, it's a lot to unpack with Nemi. And as he was last year, he just would not be ready to be a starting lineup caliber guy consistently, at least on a good team. With that being said, the ceiling is probably something, I don't want to say like Luke Cornett, I'll say like Clint Capella-esque, where maybe he's somebody who is a big body, can be a low usage offensive guy who knows how to be in the spots when needed and can potentially be a lob threat. But there's a lot of work to be done there. He needs to be a smarter offensive player. He needs to get better with his spacing. He needs to get better on knowing when to kick out after offensive rebounds. It was such a funny pull from you, because I remember being on a playback, watching Nemi get an offensive rebound and like catch the ball with his entire body facing the open corner shooter and being like, nah, I'm okay. I'm going to put it back up. And it was hilarious to watch. And it's a real flaw in his game, because those are such easy looks that you can create off of offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds are such great offensive weapons because the defense is in shambles, because it's not expected that you get a second chance. So if he learns to make good decisions off of offensive rebounds, it could really make him that much more valuable to the Celtics and make him a more impactful player, make that skill actually useful rather than being a me guy, which is tough. So I would say maybe a little over the hill Clint Capella. I wouldn't say prime all-star level Clint Capella, but like still effective, but not quite at the peak Clint Capella.
I think that's fair. Before we get to the ceilings, or my ceiling, I should say, I want to tell you guys about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action this basketball season, I should say, when it isn't season. This baseball season right now, which is what I've been enjoying. The Red Sox just beat the Dodgers in a series, so I'm thrilled. That was fun. So shout out to PrizePicks for making it even more fun while I was watching. You just pick more or less than at least 2 player props for a shot to win up to 2,000x your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. I was taking the more on Sedan Rafaela hits and runs and everything like that. And Alex Bregman has been on fire lately too. Hit a home run the other day, so that's been a fun thing for me to pick too. Sam and I do the PrizePicks every single pregame show when the Celtics are in session, so make sure to come on down, hang out with us, and do the PrizePicks there as well. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right. I don't know if I necessarily have an actual player for mine. I'm gonna look around while I talk, but I think for me the ceiling for Nemi this season is a 12-10 guy grabbing maybe 2 offensive rebounds a game, 3 offensive rebounds a game, really cleaning up the glass, almost like 1.8 blocks, like almost 2 blocks a game, shooting around 60%, which isn't like amazing for a starting center, but he's not that doesn't shoot threes, but not bad. Like a significant improvement for Nemi, which is a good thing. I think like good defender in the right positions, 2 assists a game, passing out when he needs to, but probably he's not going crazy, right? Like think like Jalen Duren. Like I think that would be a fine target for Nemi to try to go after. Like Jalen Duren's good and he's young, so I think people probably think he's a little bit even better than he is. Played 78 games, 26 minutes a night, average 11.8 points, 10.3 rebounds, 3.6 offensive rebounds, and 1.1 blocks a game. I think Nemi can get around those stats, maybe even more blocks. Probably not going to be quite as as efficient. Jalen Duren shot 69.2% from the field. Probably not going to be nearly as athletic. He's obviously not as polished, but I think that's like a good ceiling for Nemi. 12-10, almost 2 blocks a night, right? Shooting 60%, giving them good minutes, giving them maybe like 28 minutes a night as their starting center, reliably so, keeping the fouls to around 3.5 maybe. Like you're going to get a few fouls a game if you're a center. That's just like the nature of being a big man in today's NBA. But I think that'd be a good place for Nemi, and just like really hammering down the efficiency, the spacing, cut out the illegal screens. There's going to be some, but cut out them as much as possible. working the dunker spots well, knowing which spot to be in, knowing when to move to make yourself open for the pass, knowing when to cut, knowing when to exit the screen out of the pick and roll. Like, and I think that's very possible. But then my question to you, Sam, is what percentage of likelihood, like if you had to put a percentage on like the ceiling and the floor of like 60-40, 70-30, 50-50, like where would you place your belief in where Neemias is going to land?
I would say 30%, 25% that he is like towards the ceiling. I would say it's more likely that he doesn't really take a step up, but like the blueprint.
But where do you think he'll land? I guess you can on top of that, you can give like let's say 0 is the floor and 100 is the ceiling. What number do you think he'll land on?
Okay,
I'll make it a little more fair for Neeby because we'll make it less like exactly floor, exactly ceiling.
I would say he'll probably end up around 50. I think there's going to be improvement, but I don't know how significant it's going to be. It may just be like something that comes with, oh yeah, like I'm going to have real minutes. Like I don't have to prove myself every time I'm on the floor. Like you do, but you don't have to like press and like take every shot.
You have to worry about it.
Yeah, like the offensive rebounding stuff, like we were making fun of it, but like I'm sure some of that is rooted in I don't get that many opportunities to shoot the ball, and probably not at the pro level, but there is like a point in basketball where like if you don't like not getting the ball, then you're told to go get the offensive rebound and get yourself the ball. Like get your own opportunities. And that's part of what he was doing. If he's starting and he weaponizes the offensive rebounds and becomes someone that's impacting the game, like not for nothing, like we saw how impactful that was when Mitchell Robinson did it in the playoffs. Like he was a menace on the offensive glass. And is Neemias as strong as Mitchell Robinson? Is he as adept at getting offensive rebounds that are not his own shots? No. But could he be? Sure. And there's also the part of this where the blueprint was right in front of Neemias all season last year. Luke Cornett was a fantastic addition to the Celtics rotation without being somebody who shoots outside the paint. All he was asked to do was catch and finish, go vertical on defense, and be a reliable, smart player. And if Neemi is able to do those things, it's there. And Luke isn't necessarily a freak athlete. Neemi is not a freak athlete. It is there for him to take if he is ready to make the jump. So I would say he probably gets about 50% of the way towards the ceiling. I don't think he's going to go and like fall flat this year, but I don't think he's going to be the kind of guy that we're like, whoa, what a breakout season for Neemi. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, if I had to do the percentages, I'd probably say about 20% ceiling, 80% the floor, but I don't think he'll hit the exact floor. Like I would probably have him landing around like 35, like around where like if I had to put into the ether my guess for Neemi next season, it'd probably be like 8.8 points, something like that, inching up towards that 9-10 point range, grabbing around a similar number of rebounds, 7-ish rebounds, 8-ish rebounds, a block a game. Fouls aren't there. He's getting the spacing some nights, not really some nights. Still has the tendencies, but he's improving. It's just, I just don't know if it'll pan out for him. Like, as I feel like it's hard to teach basketball instincts, and that's what it feels like Neemi at times is lacking. Right? Like you can't teach a guy to know, okay, let me move into this space at this exact point, right? You can try, but it's a lot easier for a person to pick that up naturally than to have to learn when Jaylen Brown puts the ball on the floor going left because this defender is moving right, then I need to move to the dunker spot at this exact point in the drive for my defender to, like it's just it almost needs to be an instinctual, okay, I see this body move, this is when I'm moving, boom, 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 like live action. And if you have to teach it, that's just a lot to think about in one instance. And we haven't really seen Neemi be able to process the game like that. And for what it's worth, kind of what we saw from Amari Williams at Summer League. Like Amari Williams looked like Neemi in terms of processing speed, which was not great to see as a first, thing from Amari Williams. And I'm not saying Amari Williams can be a flop or whatever, but like he looked like he was processing the game and just not really locking into what was happening as quickly as you would like your big man to be. And I don't know what that means. We haven't seen Luka Garza, so we'll have to see how he does it and how he affects the game because his defense is certainly a question mark, like a pretty big one. And so there'll be a lot of opportunities for Neemias Queta, I'll put it that way. So we'll have to wait and see. But any final thoughts on Neemi? Yes, for sure. For sure.
Unless Ben Simmons or maybe Vucevic.
Unless they sign someone else. Yeah, unless they sign someone else. But that's all I got on Neemi. You got anything else?
No. No, I
right.
think he'll be fine.
Then
Boring
before we do
answer.
the email, JD Davison, former Celtics two-way player, signed a two-way with the Houston Rockets. I didn't think he was two-way eligible. Apparently, it is you can do a max of 4 years, but you can't do more than 3 years with the same team, which I couldn't find in the rules anywhere. But this is via Justin Quinn via Keith Smith, and if Keith Smith says it, then he knows the CBA better than I do. So fine. But good for JD Davison. A little bit of a weird landing spot for him. It doesn't really seem like a place where he would get a ton of minutes. That said, the Rockets don't actually have the best guard rotation. So if he can improve his 3-point shot continuously in the G League, and keep moving at the pace he's moving, like the only real guards they have on their roster, like I'm talking true guards, they have Fred VanVleet, Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepherd, and Josh Okogie, and that's it. Those are the only real guards on their roster. They have a Ben Thompson who can handle the ball. Obviously, you're going to put the ball in Kevin Durant's hands a lot. So I'm not saying like Jay Davidson's going to get minutes. Like they're going to run some one guard lineups. They're going to run a lot where Ben Thompson is playing guard, but he's really a wing. But if you're JD Davison, you got to be looking at Aaron Holiday and Josh Okogie at the very least and saying, I can play over those guys. I can work to play over those guys. And at that point, maybe you can fight for some of these scrap minutes. Maybe you can try to prove yourself. Maybe you can do stuff. So I'm happy for JD Davison that he's getting another chance to make his way up into the NBA.
Yeah, it's certainly something the Celtics did right by him, waiving him this early in the offseason, because had they waited till the deadline, which I believe was like right before opening night, if not like around training camp, a lot of teams would have already had their rosters set, their spots filled, and it would have been a lot more difficult for him to find his way onto an NBA roster. But you mentioned like Houston's guard rotation is there, but it's not like the kind of rotation where you're like, no way could he ever crack his way into it. With that being said, like also Reed Shepherd wasn't able to get minutes last year, so we'll see. We'll see how much opportunity there really is for JD. Was he? Yeah, he was a rookie when Ime was the coach of this team, right? So he has some relationship with Ime.
I don't think so. Wasn't he Joe's first year because he spent 3 years in Boston on a two-way?
3 years, okay, not 4 years. Yep, you're correct. So he just missed.
I think so.
Ime.
Yeah, he just missed Ime, but Ime saw enough apparently. So we'll see what happens with JD over there. Let's go to the emails. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hptcpod@gmail.com. That's hptcpod@gmail.com. Apologies, you may not get the super long pods while I'm on the Cape. The Wi-Fi is brutal, although it's held up okay here. But just for editing and for this, we're going to keep it shorter. But regardless, RJ, first and only email today, says ranking the East. Morning, folks. I'm bored, so sure. Let me offer my Eastern Conference rankings here in July. Each group is listed in ABC order. First round home court teams, these folks can definitely win 50 games. Cavs, Knicks, Magic. No qualms. I agree. I'm on board with that. Playoffs, maybe play-in. I'll have enough parts and team knowledge to avoid the play-in depending on who's healthy / gets hot. Celtics, Hawks, Heat, Pistons. Interesting. Play-in, maybe not bad enough to kick them into the tank, but the wrong breaks, ... Bucks, Bulls, Pacers, Sixers. Hello, lottery. What else is there to say? Hornets, Nets, Raptors, Wizards. Be well, RJ. Okay. I disagree with a few things, but we can get into it, Sam. I'll give you your thoughts first.
I know you're going to say Miami's too high. I think I would definitely swap them with Philadelphia in this situation at the very least. Also might swap them with Milwaukee. I think the Celtics could fluctuate from the playoffs, maybe play-in to play-in maybe. Groups, I don't really know what I expect from them this year. They're definitely stronger at the top than a lot of these teams are, but the surrounding pieces are just big question marks right now. We don't really know what to expect. We don't know who's going to get the minutes. We don't know which way the front office / Joe is going to treat this, where do they want to give Shireman and Walsh and Ugo experience, or would they rather try and be as competitive as possible and see Georges Niang get more minutes and so on? I agree with the top three. Think Atlanta is the best team that is in the top three. Said it the last time we did this. I think Toronto isn't properly ranked. I think they're more in the mix than the rest of those teams are. So those are my qualms, if any.
Yeah, I think you need another tier almost. I think first tier, yes. I think second tier of playoffs, maybe play in. I think that is fine. But I think it should be first round home court teams, playoff, fighting for the 5-6 seed teams. Then I think play-in Warriors, and then you need a fighting for the play-in tier. Like you need one almost between, or actually no, you need one almost between the playoffs and the play-in tier. RJ, I think, because I think Cavs, Knicks, Magic should be up, and then I think tier 2 should be like Hawks, Pistons on their own tier of like these guys are definitely going to be maybe they drop into 7, but they should be a pretty solidified team. Then I think that next tier should be Celtics, Sixers, Pacers, there, because I think the Sixers low key are in the similar position. It's just their guys aren't injured yet. Realistically, right? Like, I mean, that is the Celtics and the Pacers are in the exact position the Sixers were in last year. And until the Sixers prove that they're not going to be in that position again, which they're doing a really bad job of so far, I'm not going to put them above that. So I think that's where I'd have them. And honestly, I might put the Bucks on that similar tier of like solid playoff team, one bad breakaway, because Giannis is Giannis. And then the next tier, I would put Raptors, Heat, Bulls, and then the Hornets, Nets, Wizards. So I think that's where I would roll the dice. That's where I would rank them. And we'll do our rankings at some point this summer. But
yeah, probably more towards the end of the summer. But I think it's like a fair list. Pistons, I wish I felt better about them. Just I don't know what to think. How important is the internal development versus like losing Beasley and not really finding a great replacement for him?
LeVert's fine.
Ivy back and LeVert
I think,
and so on.
I think Beasley and Hardaway swapped out for Robinson and LeVert isn't what you wanted, but you add in the fact that you're getting Jaden Ivey, you add in the fact that Cade's going to be a year better, you add in the fact that everybody else is going to be a year better, especially Ron Holland and Asar Thompson. I think they'll be a better formed team heading into next season.
Thank you, RJ. You saw like those guys can play at a high level in the playoffs. Like they didn't finish those games that often. They were in dogfights with the Knicks.
Who did they draft?
They drafted.
I know they had Chaz Lanier in the second round. Okay, Chaz Lanier's good, man. I like Chaz Lanier. He impressed me at summer league. His willingness to shoot. But thank you, RJ. We appreciate you. Moving on to the NBA section. Do we even have anything for the NBA section? Or are we just Luka was on a magazine, Men's Health. I'll share my screen, and he looks very fit. Everyone is freaking out. Everyone is fit. Blaming Nico Harrison. This is what Luka looks like for the YouTube watchers. Just Google Luka Doncic magazine if you'd like to find it on Twitter. Luka said, if I stop now, it was all for nothing. And he looks very in shape. He looks shredded. Good for Luka. Happy for him. We'll see if it'll pan out in the regular season. I do think there's a small element to this where he loses some of the advantages he had when he was a little bit bigger. Like, you think of the way Luka scored, it was a lot of I'm going to be stronger than you in the post. Like, I'm just bigger. He knew how to use his body. I do think the plus sides are he's probably going to be a much better defender and a much better athlete now, which is probably more important. But I do think people need to be a bit more aware of how this is going to probably alter Luka's game, at least a little bit. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Trust me, it is a very good thing. But
Spinzo, I think Luka made a mistake.
Listen, man, I think Luka was certainly a problem on defense, and this is going to help that, and that is the most important thing. 1A, nothing even comes close. Like, that is the thing he had to address, and this will help him with that. However, big part of Luka's bad defense was also Luka. Not the body, not his in shape. It was mental. Like, is Luka willing to put in the effort? So that's what we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see if the fitness translates to his willingness to play defense more effectively. But regardless, very good for Luka, very bad for Nico Harrison.
Yeah, and if you're a Mavs fan, how upset are you with this? I'd be so mad because when the trade happened, one of the things I immediately thought to myself was, if he didn't get himself in shape after the finals, I don't know what it's going to take for him to get in better shape. Apparently it was getting traded from Dallas, like where everybody felt like he would be invincible, like he would never get traded. Oh my gosh. Mark Cuban said he'd rather get a divorce than trade Luka. Like all of those different things going up in smoke and not being existent anymore because he wouldn't get in shape was apparently the alarm clock, the cold water to the face that made him wake up. But if you're a Mavs fan, you have to be pissed because he got shredded in the finals. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I was just going to say, Mavs fans have taken to Twitter.
Whoa.
I'm going to pull this up. So DL2 Muse, which is Derek Lively Muse, posted this, and It's very true. This is what he just posted to Twitter. Check the dates, he says. Date. Luka running the stairs. July 26, 2023. Next.
Okay.
July 19th, 2022. Skinny Luka. Skinny, skinny, skinny. August 8th, 2023. Skinny Luka. Back. 28th, 2023, July. Skinny Luka. Back. Skinny Luka comes back in late July. That's all I'm saying. That's
He's
the
the
whole
new Ben
point.
Simmons shooting threes in the offseason. That's what everyone online says now about Luka. But if you're a Mavs fan, you have to be absolutely gutted. Like, it took him leaving your team to get motivated. Like, I don't know. He wasn't magazine cover shredded. Like, I think he looks clearly different than all those pictures. He definitely looks skinny in those pictures, but he looks far different than he did last season. Maybe this is all a ruse, just like it's been, according to the burner account that Jack just pulled up. But he looks good. He looks motivated. I'm sure, like, the burning pain of being traded away from the team you thought you would be with your entire career has something to do with it. But very surprised that he managed to pull this out after. I mean, I thought that finals was going to be the low point. Wendy just shredding him on national TV for 3 minutes, getting cooked, and nothing. Came back out of shape after that summer too.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I hope it works out for Luka, but we'll have to see. All right, Rat List, Sam, what you got?
I don't.
I know you don't. Rat List.
Rat List is shopping for ice cream on Block Island. So my girlfriend and I went to Block Island over the weekend. It was fun. I'm personally not really a beach person. I don't really think Jack is also a beach person. We both had to endure it over the weekend, Jack in the Cape, me. First one in a new place.
Was that you?
That was me.
Oh, okay. Continue.
I'm just going to start again. That way it's a clean edit. Rat List is shopping for ice cream on Block Island. So my girlfriend and I went to Block Island this weekend. It's a good time. I like going to Block Island. It's a fascinating place for me. I don't know why. It's just like something about it being secluded and a place people somehow live year-round, even though it's a very seasonal attraction, is cool. But Jack and I, neither one of us is really a big beach person, so that was not really the draw for me, even though it was fine. The beach is nice there. The water's very clean and so on. But my girlfriend wanted to get some ice cream as we left the block, and she can't have dairy. She's lactose intolerant. Sorry to commit HIPAA violation here on the pod, but the shops there did not have lactose-free or dairy-free ice cream. They were very limited. One only had sorbet. The other said that they had cookie dough. Then when we got to the front, they had run out. And then she goes up to Ben & Jerry's, and the line at Ben & Jerry's is long. So she's like, you know what, I'll settle for the chocolate and vanilla. And so the ice cream shop that I had bought ice cream from was cash only. I go to the ATM, get cash, go through, order mine. No problem, no line. I leave. I get a text from Kaylin. She's like, hey, can you just get me ice cream from there? Go back in. A family has brought a school bus full of children to order. And as those children went up, they were allowed to do their own orders. So there was no chop conveyor belt efficient system happening. No. The kid had to decide what they would like, decide what size they would like, converse with the scoop guys, the guys who get the ice cream. And it took a long time. So much so that I was getting like texts like, where are you? It's like, I'm still in line. We timed this very poorly. I was just surprised they didn't have more stuff. Sometimes, I guess, like, when you're an ice cream shop at a high volume tourist attraction, you don't really have to be as flexible. But like if you're like in a city like Providence and you have to get ice cream, like a lot of places have so many cool non-dairy options, which I personally prefer too, just because it's like feels lighter and I don't feel like shit after. But yeah, that was a interesting task to get done.
Yeah. Ice cream on the Cape is not much better. There's like a million ice cream shops, but they're all packed because that's what everyone wants to do at nighttime on the Cape. So we went to one place the other day, and there was no parking, and we just had to like find another place because we literally could not like stop at the place because they had like I'm trying to count in my head like 12 parking spots. You got to be better. I'm sorry. Like what are we doing? Like that's not okay. Went to second place, a lot more parking spots. Line crazy. We waited in line for like 20, 30 minutes. Whatever. Whatever. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. 7 of us, and then we're getting something from my mom too, because my mom was at home. And so we went up and we did the whole thing. Girl at the counter, no notepad, no machine, no nothing, just all memory, right? And she was very nice. I don't want this to come across like she sucked. It was bad. Like, what are you doing? You did not remember. Like, did you? It was a thing where like, and it was okay because it's not like we like went away and they brought us our order. We stood there at the counter until we had everything and then paid. So she would come back and be like this, and we'd be like, okay, yeah, it was this. Like, so we were like talking all the time. So it was fine. But she was just like, I don't know if they don't have notepads. I don't know if they don't have a computer system. Wild. It was wild behavior, but we got it done. It happened. We took bets at the end, or not at the end, but when we all ordered, me, Henry, Grace, my girlfriend Michaela, and then Aiden, who's my stepdad's son, so my stepbrother, all guessed. We're like, okay, like what do we think the total's gonna be? We'll put our guesses in, and we were all overshot it. So it was a good feeling. We were like, oh, it's less than we all thought. We thought it was gonna be like $90. It was like 78. But then there's, of all the places, for there not to be an option to tip on the machine, what are we doing? It was like cash only tips, which what's the fucking point then? And we had cash, so it was fine. Like we tipped her, it was okay. But like of all the times you don't have a tip option on the machine, what are we doing? What the fuck?
I mean, I'm not sure you need to tip. Now, here's what I'll say, because there were 7 of you.
You're not sure you need to tip?
At an ice cream shop where they make hourly wage? No, I don't think you need to tip. I don't tip when they flip the screens on me anymore. I stopped doing that.
I've at an ice cream shop. I feel like you have to, especially these seasonal ones, because these are like college kids. They're coming home to like do the job. A lot of the tips are like for their college fund, blah blah blah, like that. I feel like that's this place where you do need to tip, like an ice cream place where they're making the ice cream, where they're taking orders, where they're going to do it, like the action of it all. Like that's like, and it's not like a big chain.
Subway.
It is different because Subway is like a corporate chain. These are like mom and pop little like stands where it's like not backed by a giant corporation paying you like legitimate salary, legitimate benefits, blah, 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 all this. Like this is like, I don't know how their salary works. Like maybe they do survive on tips. Like I don't know. It's not like a big like corporate thing. It's like a little
I
ice
think
cream
unless
stand.
you're like a waiter, they have to pay you minimum wage, which isn't a lot. But
You can
that's
tell
what
us in the
they would be
comments.
making at, like, Subway.
I think you should tip ice cream workers because like especially in the summer where it's like a seasonal thing where they don't work year round. Like they're not year round workers at this ice cream place. They're there for the summer. You comment.
I will say,
anyways, go ahead.
With you guys having a larger group, I can understand like feeling like, okay, like yeah, I should be like, thank you for the good service, like thanks for taking care of us, whatever. But was it cash only to pay too?
No, that's why it was weird.
Oh, okay. See, they had tip jars where I was at, but it was just like I had to pay cash anyways, which is a whole other thing. Like ATM in the place, convenient. Yeah, I had to pay an extra $3. I paid $23 for fucking 2 ice creams. Unbelievable.
I paid $78 for 7, so you got
I mean, they just have them. I'm literally on an island. I can't go that many other places. I mean, there is an ice cream place literally across the street.
Yeah, you're cooked. Yeah, there's nowhere else you can go. You're done. I don't know if you have anything else. I have a couple more things, but not a couple. I have like one more thing.
I'll tell you what I don't like about it. So like not being living at home is new to me. I don't like cooking. I don't like cooking from scratch. I can make myself items, but like, did I already bitch about this?
The chicken, yes.
Yeah, making the chicken. I'm just sitting here thinking about it because I got to do it again soon. Making the chicken, like having to cut the chicken, a lot of work. It just takes so much extra time.
Yeah.
And granted, like kind of doing it in bulk is a little bit different too. not for me. I'm just so used to being like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to make myself a sandwich. Oh, I'm going to put some in the air fryer. And like, that's the end of it. Can't necessarily do that anymore.
Feel it. Well, that's a discussion you could have. I feel like you could do that, but maybe that's not the way your household is being run.
That to be done.
All right.
Might not want
but
frozen meals every time we eat.
The last thing I got is I went to a concert at the Xfinity Center. I went to see Big Time Rush. It was fucking awesome. Sick. Awesome concert. Getting out afterwards, not as fun. Not as awesome.
Yeah.
We were they stuck us in the back lot, so we're really close to the entrance, but we were way far back. And we sat 30, 40 minutes in the same spot before moving at all.
Oh.
However, we would have been there for like another hour, but we got lucky and the cars behind us started going in a back way to get like towards the front of the lines. We were like, let's follow them. And what I came to realize was those cars doing that was the reason we didn't move at all, because that little line of cars was getting in the way of the big line that is emptying out all the parking lots the normal way from going, because they're cutting them off constantly. So it's like halting that process. But then we just became part of the problem and we got out there early. So whatever. It's fine. That's all I got, though. I have nothing else. Do you have anything else?
Final Atlas is parking at my apartment building. So I live in I like the building. Pretty nice here. Like, good price, too, for what we have. The parking situation is interesting because, fortunately, like, all my work right now is, like, remote, so I don't have to leave during the day, and I can, like, go and park my car, like, wherever. But, like, yesterday, go and play basketball in the evening, get back at, like, 9:30. Everybody is home. Not a lot of parking space. I have to park like probably 10-minute walk away from where my actual unit is. Long distance to have to go once you get home. But I just moved my car in the middle of the day. Post up right up front of the building. Pretty good. Not too bad. Just weird
Easy
not
enough.
having like a set space that you park in.
Yeah. You just gotta grind. Just find a place. But that's all I got. I have nothing else. No other complaints. Has Henry played his college football games? Or done his scouting at least?
No, he's afraid to because
the Wi-Fi.
He doesn't know.
In his defense,
he messaged today. No, I know.
Yeah.
When you said I don't know about the Wi-Fi to me today in the text, I was like, I already know. Henry told me. He's like, I can't even get on the server.
Yeah,
so I think
rough.
We are gonna have to pause.
Yeah, it's brutal. But anyways, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Bout Them Celtics, and I'll say I'm taking it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment. Let us know what you think of Neemi and all the other great things we spoke about today. Tell us about the tip stuff. Very curious, actually. Subscribe to the channel. We are here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps up to one after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us streaming live or on YouTube during the season for pregame. We're also streaming on Spotify and Apple for all pods and game recaps. They are there. So if you want them followed, they'll just go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Send in all of your thoughts. This is email time, hbtcpod@gmail.com. If you have ideas for brackets, send them in. I think once Jack gets back, we'll try and get that going. When we really have not a lot of pod content, we will go back to doing Midsummer Madness is what we'll call it this time. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.